Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking time to sit with us today. Today's guest on this 10-minute round tablet is Liz Tuckwell. I know Liz as a science fiction and fantasy author out of basically the London area, London, UK area. I enjoy her work as much as that can be a plug for anybody. So there you go. She's a regular member of our roundtable. She contributes quite often. We're very glad to have her. Liz, tell us about yourself.
Josie. Well, like Josie said, I live in London, England. So I'm aware there are other Londons apart from the one in England, if it is the most famous one. I'd say I'm more of a fantasy than a science fiction writer, though I've written a few science fiction stories. I've published a couple of collections of short stories, one of which was Moonsleep and Other Stories. I've just issued a new edition of another collection of short stories, which is called The Christmas Stories, which basically does what it says on the tin. Not quite the traditional Christmas stories, I think. I'm currently working on a novel about dryads, because I'm interested in dryads, I don't think there's too many of them, so I'm hoping it'll be an interesting addition to the urban fantasy book genre, of which there are many, many. What else can I say about me? As Josie said, I live in London with my husband and a cat. And as you can see, a fair number of books, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more in boxes around the place as well.
Liz, did you say that you've got a story in an anthology of Christmas stories, or you've
No,
published?
no, no. I've got a collection of short stories that are all Christmas themed.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't say this to me before.
Why not?
I don't think so. Well, please send me a link so that I can be
Send
glorious
you a
and,
link.
and blather all about it to everybody. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in the next newsletter going out. Anyway,
Yes.
Liz, you
Yes.
are a regular member of the Roundtable, a group of creative people who get together once a month and talk about being creative and the different things go into that. So, what what is your interest? What is your goal for people coming to the Roundtable?
My goal for people coming to the round table is, well, first of all, to be entertained, because I think if they're not enjoying it, it would be a complete waste of their time. Second is, I think it's also it's interesting for people to listen to creatives talking about different issues, and also how these play out in different fields. For example, our recent one we were talking about AI. It's interesting to see how AI was affecting actors as opposed to how it's affecting writers, as opposed to how it's affecting artists. It was really
Mm.
interesting seeing what the sort of potential benefits and the potential disadvantages were for all the different creatives in different fields. I find that was really interesting. Um, Also, another one we had on Roundtable was really interesting was about rejection, and because writers think it's terrible getting an email back saying your book has been rejected, but I can't. It's nothing compared to what actors face. So it helps to put things into perspective, I think. So again, that's something. It helps you to see fresh perspectives on things you might have thought of before. And sometimes you just get interesting information that you thought, never knew that. That interesting.
Yes, I agree. I was fascinated to have some people, some younger people, get back in touch with me about the episode on rejections. They thought it was about in relationships. No, no, it's no, not about relationships. You young person, you God love you. Um, okay, so great. That's what you want other people to get out of it. What is your interest in being on the round table? What are you looking for? I guess you said part of it was all the interesting things and learning from other disciplines, creative disciplines. What else draws you? What made you say, yeah, I'll put in the time on this?
I think it sounded like an interesting idea, and I think you actually said to me, Joseph, you should never pass up an opportunity to learn, to have a learning opportunity. But I think you just had some really interesting discussions, and as I say, occasionally you think about something in a way you've not thought of it before. I mean, for example, I was talking about rejections, and one of the people around table said, I just look at it, I've tried, and if I don't try, I won't get anything, but at least I've tried, and I should count that as a minor triumph." And I thought, I've not thought of it that way before. And I thought, that's a really positive way to think about it. And it's a much better way than I've been thinking about it so far. So
Yeah.
that's the sort of little gems that I appreciate in getting from the round table.
Yeah, I agree with you. Some of the some of the things which in many ways are kind of like throwaway statements. People
Yeah.
don't realize what they're saying. And I just sit there and go, wow, I got to make a note on that one. That's incredible, you know? So, yeah, I agree with you completely. Anything else you'd care to add from London, England?
Um, I'd also say sometimes it's actually quite funny. Sometimes not always intentionally, but
Are you talking about the porn episode?
that was quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That actual, I finished rendering that video. That will be going up on YouTube over the weekend, I hope. So I'll be sending links out. Yes. Yes. Liz was with us, not as a participant, but Liz was, yeah, with us. We got porno bombed. Anyway, thank you so much, Liz.
Right,
I
Joseph,
appreciate
thank
it.
you for your time.
We'll see you again. Take care.
Yeah, very soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.